Welcome back to the Real Friends podcast. What's up, JoJo?
Nothing much, Alex. It's great to be back for another go there. I'm glad to come on back and hit a film series that, while I may find humorous and cringy in certain regards, the first movie and even a bit the second movie, uh, the Resident Evil movie franchise, the live action stuff made by Paul W.S. Anderson.
hmm
So this is exciting.
One of the one of the Andersons. There's so many Andersons, and we get them confused. Paul Anderson, Paul W.S. Anderson, Wes
Mr. Anderson.
Anderson. Yeah, yeah, Mr. Anderson. Yeah, yep. This is the Real Friends podcast. So yeah, like you said, we're here to talk Resident Evil. So, this was your idea, right? I said, "Hey, what movie do you want to review?" And you said this. So what made you want to do Resident Evil?
Without getting off onto a tangent there as to how important a lot of the mainline games are to me as far as a video game escape, I am a very big fan of, Resident Evil 0 up to 5, 6 is mid, and then 7 and 8. And I'm very excited for the ninth game coming out, as well as some of the spin offs. I'm a big Resident Evil fan as far as the games. They're not perfect,
Sure.
the stories are goofy, but damn, did them and Silent Hill had a very good reason as to how early PS1, PS2 horror was shaped, and that's, it's led into many other game franchises. Resident Evil 4 was the inspiration for the Dead Space games initially. How could we
Hmm.
take this control scheme and how this game plays and make it better? And that's why a lot that Capcom, in a sense, is what has basically created a lot of the modern third-person gaming landscape as we know it up to that point, which is really cool. Uh,
Nice.
but yeah, these movies came out at a time where, oh wow, let's do an action movie video game tie-in. We've never seen that before. I do have to say, I was very against these movies, but as I did say, the first movie does hold a decent soft spot to me because it didn't try to be a video game tie-in movie per se. It took elements from the first and second game and tried to mix that into its own developed plot. And that's why you're not going to see any of the mainstay names that you would see from the first two games. There's no Leon, there's no Chris, Claire, Jill, etc., etc., etc. You're going to be getting Alice, played by Mila Jovovich. I'm going to butcher her name over and over. So she's known as Alice to me in this review.
Yep.
Uh,
Good.
you get the starring role of Michelle Rodriguez as Rain. Wow, what
Yeah.
a name. And I don't even know if it's really said initially, like you'll hear people call it out, but the only time I noticed it to begin with was a little later on whenever masks are off and everything. The security camera caught it and it was starting to flash up people's names because
Yeah.
they're all Umbrella employees. But anyhow, I'll let you take the reign there, and because I know you wanted to say something.
Oh,
Uh,
just Michelle Rodriguez, man. I mean, so this movie is right on the heels of when she was Letty in the Fast and the Furious.
mm-hmm.
The original Fast and the Furious came out in 2001. Then she did this in 2002, and then 2003 she was Chris Sanchez in SWAT. So
Mm.
she went on a tear here for a little bit, and then she kind of, I don't want to say she quit doing movies, but then she moved into like video games. Like she was doing voices. She was a voice of a Marine in Halo 2.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, she did that kind of stuff. And then, she really clutched on to Fast and Furious, still with them to this day. Avatar, the TV show Lost. She's done a lot, man. And a lot of people don't think she's a very good actress, and I think that's because they tie her with Fast and Furious. But a movie that's near and dear to me, and I'm assuming you like it too, is Dungeons and Dragons: Honor Among Thieves. I thought she
She,
was awesome in that movie.
yeah, that and Dungeons and Dragons: Honor Among Thieves was such a good it was such a good take. How could we make an Oceans movie but make it
O
D&D themed?
Oceans with D&D fanfic.
Yeah,
Like, yeah,
absolutely.
and it ripped. I didn't think it was gonna be good, but I thought it was very good. Chris
I
Pine, man.
really I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I thought it was great. I would watch 10 of those. Like, keep
Mhm.
making them.
Still waiting for the Pathfinder movie.
Yeah, I know. Still waiting to play Pathfinder again. One of our friends had to go and have a kid, and now we can't play anymore.
That's two of the three.
Ba- Bastards. But yeah, those are our big name actors from this, right? And then Colin Salmon's in it too. I know I've seen him in a ton of stuff. I don't even know if he's still acting or if he's still around.
As far as stuff that he's done modernly, I'm sure he's been in some TV shows and stuff, but I can't say I've seen a movie that he's played a primary character in for a
Right.
while. So
Yeah, like oh no, he's definitely still in stuff because he's the barber in Nobody. So Nobody 2's coming out. Yeah, he'll be in that. But it looks like he's been doing a TV show called EastEnders for the past 2 years, and it's got nearly 300 episodes. So that would make sense. We haven't seen him in movies.
he shares his voice a lot with some video games, it looks like, as well. So that's cool.
Yeah, yeah. So, but yeah, those are our main actors. So, it's a nice little change of pace when Jordan comes on because I don't have to lead the discussion as much. So,
Shit.
yeah, Jordan, go ahead. I'm gonna let you lead, and I'll jump in with what I've got, man.
Okay, you might hear some back and forth as to what I know about the first two Resident Evil games and in turn the remake as I bring up stuff from the story here, but I'm going to try and stick mostly to the movie and just make little, hey, that was a nice little tie in or a little nod. Uh,
Sure.
so the big thing that you're going to notice is it's going to be similar to the game right at the opening credit scene where it's telling, oh, Umbrella, this pharmaceutical company that is basically the backbone of Raccoon City, unbeknownst to the people, et cetera, et cetera. Oh, guess what? Umbrella makes their money from military tech, genotech experiments, and viral weaponry, and not clout weaponry. We're talking like virus-induced weaponry. So
Yeah. Very,
that
the movie that came out around this time, right? 28 Days Later. Very
yeah
similar in that regard. I think this probably did it more excitingly, right? Like this
yeah
movie, like 28 Days Later is tough to watch now because it's so dark and grainy and was filmed on like through a piece of foil. Like,
Yeah,
it's tough to watch.
it was
Like,
like a $500,000 budget or something.
yeah,
It was extremely cheap for how much money it made. It was definitely one of those box office like holy
yeah.
shit moments, kind of like the original Evil Dead.
Right. And I've heard like it was much different watching 28 Days Later in the theater because, it was projecting and like all those different things like
Oh, it's
camera
fucking
wise.
terrifying in the
Yeah,
theater.
but
I could imagine.
but it was hard to watch, but this was a nice change of pace from that because it felt similar, but it felt more like a video game, which was fun.
Yeah, and you say it felt like a video game, which obviously it's what they're going for, but it was enjoyable because they ended up getting, if I'm correct on this, I think they ended up getting music of the age. Like, yeah, it was that techno-y kind of type, music where it's a very fast pace and stuff like that. However, I think they had Slipknot, Marilyn
I
Manson,
was just saying, my favorite,
Rammstein.
Marilyn Manson's in this. Like, yeah.
Yeah, like they had brought like what you would have considered at the time like, oh, this music really fits with what we're showing right now.
And it felt very much like a 2000s action movie, like X-Men, like, Triple X. Like it had that thing at the beginning where it's got the weird opening credits that Sam Raimi's Spider-Man had,
Yep.
like all
Yep.
these movies just when they made the transition from VHS to DVD, did these openings and I always thought they ripped. I think they're fun. I wish movies would still do that sometimes.
Yeah, and I would, because I'm sure that this is one of those DVDs that it used that opening credit sequence, and oh, there's your DVD menu. Like just
Yep.
something fun like that.
Yeah. I feel like the only movie that really does anything like that anymore is Mission Impossible. And even
Yeah.
that's like opening credits like 20 minutes into the movie. So,
Well, to keep on rolling here, the opening scene, then we end up seeing what looks to be uh person in a hazard suit, and they're being very precise in putting these unknown vials into this container. There's a injection device of some sort also, which looks like it looked like Men in Black, like little ray blaster that Will Smith was going to be using, but it was
yeah.
meant for injecting whatever's in those vials. Um, that gets closed up. You see these locks go off. They're very intricate. They have level bubbles on them to make sure that they're sealed properly. Just crazy. Oh, this is shit here. type setting that they're giving you. As you see that person take that briefcase, then they go ahead and zip it up into a duffel bag, and then you just see, assumedly, the same person whip a blue vial that ends up cracking and starting to release an airborne pathogen. As we come to learn, that is the in Resident Evil the dreaded T virus, the thing that starts all the horrific uh, zombie outbreaks,
Mm.
stuff that ends up going on, what mutates the dogs, what makes all this crazy shit happen in the Arcane Mountains in the games. Um,
Yeah, this is so the idea behind this, right, is where it all started, right? Where the virus all started. And originally this movie was entitled Resident Evil Ground Zero.
hmm.
But this movie came out in 2002. What happened at the end of 2001 that we probably shouldn't call a movie Ground Zero?
Yeah, that's valid. And
Yeah.
I actually didn't even make the correlation until you just brought that up. Yeah, that,
Yeah. Yeah, they were like, yeah, we probably shouldn't do this.
that was a good call.
Yeah. I
um,
mean, Ground Zero is a sick name, but yeah, not from when it was coming out.
I'm wondering if that's I'm wondering if that was Paul Anderson's idea at that point, or if it was a different director. Because George Romero actually made the original television commercial for Resident Evil 2 when it was coming out, and
Oh.
he had actually made a script for a live action Resident Evil movie up to that
Oh.
point.
Nice.
Yeah, and it was going to actually follow the game characters and everything else a lot more closely to a point.
Sure.
Not exactly, but to a point, because he wanted to make Chris Redfield not a member of Stars. He wanted him to just be like a Native American in it, just there somehow.
Yeah.
I would like to read what that script looked like someday.
Yeah, absolutely.
Jumping ahead there, you see all this stuff just going crazy in the Umbrella Labs at this point. Um, it seems like a normal enough day. There's a guy walking, having his coffee. Oh boy, another day at work. Gets bumped into what we assume is the guy that loaded up the case and threw the virus and everything else at this point. He's like, "Gee, thanks, buddy," and he's just like,
Yeah.
"Shit, my good white shirt." Gets on the elevator. He's jumped to the security cameras that notice that it tells you it's the T virus, biohazard alert, etc., etc. Biohazard is the Resident Evil game's actual name in Japan, which it wasn't really a tie in there, but it was a cute little thing to think about. Um,
That's the only one I've played, the Biohazard game. Resident I think it's
so
called Biohazard.
it'd be seven then.
Yeah, yeah, that's the only
Yeah,
one I've played.
yeah, they came full circle because it was Biohazard 0 to 6 up to that point, and they're like, "Hey, let's reboot the franchise with a new character. We're gonna call it Resident Evil 7 Biohazard, or in Japan, Biohazard Resident Evil." What the fuck? um, so, all that being said, uh, there's scientists that it cuts to. They're in a laboratory of sorts. The fire alarm goes off. They're presumed to drown basically up to that point because the sprinkler system won't stop. It can't get out, et cetera, et
Right.
cetera. Elevators start falling. There's people outside the elevators that just pass out and are presumably dead from the airborne pathogen at this point. And there's a cut who I think it's Miss Black, according to IMDb. I'm pretty sure this is the actress who gets stuck in the elevator. It all but drops right before it, lops her head and arm off, and then the elevator just shoots right back up, and we get a cut right there, just presuming that her head just gets lopped off from the elevator.
Yeah. The Final Destination 2 elevator death.
Pretty much.
Yep.
And didn't they bring that back kind of in the newest movie? I've
Yes,
seen I've
yeah.
seen a lot of trailer where it's like, oh shit, I'm pinched, help, help, and it's
Well,
just
it was the coolest death in Final Destination Bloodlines. And spoiler for a movie that's been out, not even theaters anymore. At the very beginning, this guy is going to try to get in the elevator, and it just completely squishes him, and guts and everything fly everywhere. It's sick, and I hated the character it happened to, so I was very happy it happened.
so they blew their load in the trailer scene,
Pretty much.
and that's valid. Got to get people in here to expect more of that, and then they don't. Favorite Final Destination death, I think, is still because it's such one that could happen, and they knew it. It's just like the log truck that just
Oh,
holy shit, that one's nuts.
yeah, the we did a full episode on Final Destination. We did a full recap episode on Final Destination, the first five, and then we did Final Destination Bloodlines episode, and we've been told it's some of our best work. So I would definitely go check that out if you like Final Destination or you just like listening to us talk.
If you like listening to us talk, check out the Back to the Future podcast as well as a
Those
Working Man
two,
co-starring
yeah.
me. I tease, I tease. Anyhow, we cut from all that. We end up finding our protagonist, Alice, passed out in a shower. Like, she fell hard, like, ripped the curtain down, everything. And you see a jump cut just a little later there as to what happened and why that was. Basically, she was one of the agents that had to work on the upper side of I believe it is known as the Spencer Mansion in this movie, and that's tying into the first game where you go into the Spencer Mansion. Spencer being basically the head of Umbrella at that point. Anyhow, she passes out. She gets up, wraps around because we only get tasteful side boob in the 2000s for the most part, and
Hey, whatever.
it
Take whatever you can get.
it's a sign of the times. And it's like Friday the 13th. It wasn't gratuitous in your face because we don't have a guy in a hockey mask to offset this then. Um, anyhow, she finds a bedroom, puts on clothes, and she's shocked whenever ends up seeing I believe it was an MP5K with just a mess of attachments in a locked box, which told her, "Oh shit, what is going on here?"
Yeah. Who am I, basically, right? And then
Yeah.
like the soldiers bust in and start asking for a report, like she's
Yep.
a soldier or something. So the movie's cluing you into like the dramatic irony of we're pretty sure, right? We're pretty sure we know what's going on, but she has no idea, and we're not sure why she doesn't.
Yes, absolutely. After that, before that, she actually ended up seeing what looked to be her in a wedding photo, which plays into its own thing. There's again more flashbacks as she's coming back from this amnesia that she suffered as a side effect of the gas that was released to incapacitate her at that point.
The soldiers kind of take off their masks and we see who they are, right?
Yes.
And they're working on prep for entry. So this mansion is like the entrance to the hive, which
Yep.
is the
Which
underground, yeah, where what is it, the Red Queen is the AI system for
Yep.
them. Yeah.
Yep. It's basically the equivalent to Resident Evil 2's big show of when you get to the underground umbrella lab from the police station. You go through a bunch of nonsense and you end up there one way or another. In Resident Evil 1, in that game, the Spencer Mansion would eventually take you downstairs to literally a lab that Albert Wesker had made up at that point to be doing his genetic nonsense to try and make the perfect life form. And there's a very funny clip that I'll have to share with you at some point. It was from the original PlayStation 1 voice actors where Wesker's like, "It's the ultimate life form, my life's work." And Chris Redfield just starts laughing at him, and the voice actor of Wesker just sounds so hurt. He's just like, "Chris, stop it."
Stop.
Yeah, he's just so hurt by it. We end up also meeting Matt. I believe
Yeah.
his last name's. I'm going off IMDb here, folks, because I don't think they ever say his last name, but he's known as Matt Addison. He was saying he was just a transferred cop to the Raccoon City Police Department.
Yeah.
He's technically, your Chris, your Leon, whatever. Raccoon City
Sure.
Police, cool stars. They're ordered to go down into the hive with the group of gas masked individuals. Matt's not really uh, a member of the umbrella group, but Alice supposedly is. And that's whenever Alice meets her partner. Supposedly, there's feelings there, but there also isn't initially. Spence.
It's the guy. She recognized him from the picture, like
Yes,
that of the wedding picture.
I bring
So
up I bring up more of the feelings because you have flashbacks of them, they're going at it on the bed, whatever. They're like smiling at each other like in another flashback.
yeah,
Like there was feelings there that
which
he
which is
supposedly doesn't remember, but
which is pretty compelling, right? Because in this moment, like the leader of the group tells them, like, "Hey, you guys were just assigned to be guards to like, you were guarding the hive,
Yeah,
basically. So that's
it
why you
was
were
an
there
it was
together.
it was an undercover setup. Like her
Yeah.
wedding ring says property of the Umbrella Corporation.
Yeah. It's
So yeah,
very Mr. and Mrs. Smith, right?
yeah, that's
Like,
a way to
yeah.
look at it. So we look at that. Rain, uh, she ends up working on the train, getting the power going so that they can make their way to the hive. Then we get to one of the coolest scenes out of the entire movie shortly thereafter. So they're trying to continue on so they can plant this EMP device to shut down the Red Queen. Uh, the main lead guy there, I don't know if he even had a name, but Colin Salmon, his character goes in, puts down this device that's supposed to help the big hacker guy be able to figure out how to break into this room. They get the numbers, awesome, cool, everything's good. Group of fours in there, doors locked behind, weapon level 5, and you're like, oh shit, what's this? A laser comes out of nowhere, and everybody's like, get down. This one woman, apparently, trained soldier, ain't listening. She just looks over and, huh? Lops her head
So
off.
good.
Very
Yeah.
cool effect, very clean. Um, the other guy, he tries to jump the laser, and it's like, haha, fuck you. And the laser jumps up and lops him, and then uh Salmon's character, he grabs onto the ceiling, then stops it. You see his knife get cut and shit like that. And then he drops down, and just as they get the laser system turned off, it turns into this honeycomb grid and just slices through him. And you see this shot where his body just starts to crumble into like fucking chicken nuggets. It
Yeah.
was,
And it was very thematic, right? Like, I mean, there's not a lot of themes in this movie, but the idea they're in the hive and then he gets killed by a honeycomb. And it's nuts, right? Because you look at him and you're like, oh man, this dude's a badass. We need him the whole time. And then
mm-hmm.
it's one of those deals, they kill off nearly all of the soldiers. There's only three soldiers left, right?
Yeah,
And two of them hadn't even gone with them, which includes Rain, I think JD, and then the hacker dude. They're the only
yeah,
ones left. So.
yep. Which is, again, you're absolutely right. We're killing off the power characters now. Very funny to say that when we find out in the rest of these movies that Alice is the power character who can't ever seem to have her powers consistent because uh fucking
Different directors, different writers, different
I
everything.
I want to say maybe different writers, but I think Paul Anderson had his finger in all of the Resident Evil
Oh,
movies.
really?
I'm
Oh, gee.
almost positive because, like I said, he ended up, yes, he did every single movie.
That's actually really
And
funny.
oh, it gets even worse than that. Besides Apocalypse and Extinction, where he wasn't a director, every one of these movies he was director, writer, and producer.
Same as Death Race. All the
Yeah,
Death Race movies and
yep.
AVP. Wow. So he's made some really fun movies.
He was the director of the original Mortal Kombat movie, which it's
I
cheesy. I
think it
don't hate it.
rips. I
Yeah, I
think it
don't hate it.
rips. Yeah.
He also made the Monster Hunter movie, and I absolutely refuse to watch that because I'm a big Monster Hunter fan. And
Uh,
again, it has Mila Jovovich in it because Paul W.S. Anderson at that point wanted to put his wife in another movie. And Capcom's like, you made us money. Why not make Monster Hunter the movie?
I remember seeing that in theaters because I really love Ron Perlman, and it was one of the worst things I've ever seen.
Good. I'm glad I'm not missing anything. It's bad for me as somebody that plays the game. The box art monster is supposed to be the hot shit to a point in the games. They use the Monster Hunter World was out at this point. You had these crazy big monsters and stuff like that. They used the ones from like the original game, like the one on the
Mm,
PS2 at that point. It's like, oh boy, here's Rathalos on the box art. Oh boy, here's the big monster you're gonna see. It's Diablos. Like you have these crazy motherfucking monsters at this point that you could be pulling in here, and you're putting the ones that you fight, at quote unquote level 4. There's no levels in the game, but your hunter rank. Oh, these are the introductory quests at this
yeah,
point for the games. Like, come
yeah.
on. Anyhow,
Uh, but yeah, I
laser
was just saying
scene.
they do. Yeah, the laser scene happens, and then they decide we still have to try to go through with the EMP, right? So, our they go and they grab it and they start rushing in, and your boy Kaplan
Mm-hmm.
takes the EMP and causes the power to fail. But when he does that, it's just like Jurassic Park. when they had to reboot the system. All the doors open,
Yep.
and we all know that something's being released because we saw a little earlier when they all walked by the drowned people, they opened their eyes, right?
Yes.
She opened her eyes and it was very scary. So we know, uh-oh, here they come.
And I do like that this is your first introduction to the Red Queen as well. Before Captain fires off the EMP, she looks at him and says, "Please listen to me. You're all
Oh
going
yeah,
to die down
as
here."
a little girl.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it was after like the creator's daughter or something. So
Hmm.
yeah, she materializes as like a projection of a little girl. It's creepy. It's
It
very
is, and
effective.
it is yes, it is very very effective. Up to this point, then you there's a little bit of a it's a touch of a humorous scene that turns dark really quick. Rain gets pinned down by a zombie at this point, and she's like, "Get this bitch off of me!" Blah blah blah, and she gets a chunk bit out of her hand,
Yeah,
from the zombie. And JD comes up, tosses it to the side. He's like, "I got this. Stand down." Blah blah blah. They don't. He shoots it in the knee, and it just looks at him. He's like, "What the fuck?" He shoots it in the other knee. What the fuck? And Rain gets up and just with her fucking submachine guns just and launches the fucker like wire style. Like, oh, that bitch ain't getting up now, is she?
yeah,
Okay, that's fun
yeah,
until it's not because here comes the entire goddamn horde. They've been alerted, Left for Dead style.
yeah. And they're called what liquors? I guess is that what they're referred to here?
No, the liquor is the big mean son of a bitch about an hour or something into the movie that gets killed
Okay.
by the pipe and drape.
Mm,
Lickers in the Resident Evil games are blind. They almost have like their brains exposed to it. They're like frog-like creatures. Actually, I'm pretty sure they're derived from frogs based on how the virus interacts with them. And so they're completely blind. They go off of sound in the games, and they are terrifying because they have these razor sharp claws, as you can see in the movie, but their tongues can not only constrict whoever it grabs a hold of, they are razor sharp too. So the whole concept is like this fucking thing is either going to rip you alive or it's going to whip you with its tongue so hard that it's either going to lash you or it's going to decapitate you in one go. Like it
gotcha.
is nothing to fuck with. Um, but yeah, you get this weird action scene that happens here where JD and Rain and everybody's trying to fight off the horde. And then you have Matt in the background trying to get the keys to undo his handcuffs. And there's just
Yeah,
this moment where he drops him, he goes down and finally gets him, and his pant leg catches on fire. And you think it's supposed to be suspenseful. He's really just taking his time undoing the keys up to that point, then, because he's like, because the zombie's coming at him, the zombie's on fire, he's kicking at it. And he's
yeah.
like, it gets undone. He's like, oh shit, that's fire. Ow. Um, the big thing with this scene is, Kaplan's trying to unlock the door at this point. That's what's
Right.
holding everybody up. It's supposed to lead to suspense. Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
You jump ahead a touch further. Alice has an experience with another Resident Evil 1 mainstay, and into 2 in a bit. The zombified dog. Very, very well done. It looked sick. I have to say, the effects on that, very well done, considering some of the zombie makeup that I just saw in that previous scene. There's one guy that sticks with me, like his nose is missing, which it doesn't look terrible, but then it's just like it's almost like it was supposed to be black and white Romero, like uh Night of the Living Dead type makeup.
Yeah.
This guy was just so pale faced. His eye was supposed to look like the socket was pushed in. And I'm like, how do you go from this dog looking this fucking awesome to this? Like,
I guess there's a big difference between makeup and special effects. Is all I
that
can think.
that's true. It does make me wonder. Like that's early CG. I'm wondering if they put like a dog in a mocap suit though. You
Maybe.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I think that would have been really neat. So Alice does some badass shit then after she locks the dog behind a door, and she just spinning kicks this zombie in the head and knocks him through some glass. Another flashback. She's starting to remember, oh man, I'm Jesus in this world. Because she really is in this world.
Yeah. Well, and right before the flashback, I think, right, this is when we see this girl Lisa, who turns out that's Matt's sister. Um,
Yes.
and they were both like environmental activists, right?
Yep.
And then the flashback you're talking about is that Alice sees she was talking to Lisa and like planning to like invade the hive and steal stuff, basically. So now we're all like, oh, geez, Alice was a part of this.
Yes, absolutely. And uh which is I don't know if it was something that they were trying to do just to sneak in because the Resident Evil 1 remake just came out. Lisa Trevor is a very unknown thrown in thing into the Resident Evil 1 remake on the GameCube. Um I don't know if they were just trying to do a nice little nod there or if it was just a happen chance of the name. But she's basically infected by the T virus. She's got this crazy hunchback, like chained up and shit like that. She's miserable. But theories have it that she's still somewhat human on the inside. Like the virus didn't take her over completely, as you've
Mm,
seen with some of the Resident Evil bosses, that they're
mm,
still human, like they're still in control, but they're going to their primal instincts. So just a little fan theory here on my end. I don't think Anderson thought that much ahead of it, but
sure.
it'd be cool.
Yeah.
Um, so everybody reunites at the Red Queen's chamber after Alice kicks a dog through a fucking plain glass window, which again was really cool.
Badass. Yeah.
It's not the first time she's going to do cool shit like that in this series to the dogs. Um, I we have to watch the one that has Wesker in it, and she uses like coins as shotgun shells to load shotgun shells, basically, because you are going to laugh your ass off at that entire action scene.
Hell
It
yeah.
is.
I mean, so he recently did another movie with his wife called In the Lost Lands, which she was a witch and then Dave Bautista was like a cowboy.
Okay, I've
That
seen the
that just
trailers for that.
yeah,
Okay,
that just came out this year. That was a lot of fun. It felt super like, the Underworld or Resident Evil stuff like that.
well, that's cool.
But yeah,
Um,
there's some obscene shit in it like that too. So
let's
I think at
see.
this point, isn't JD dead? Didn't JD get killed?
He gets, you suppose he gets his entire body ripped apart, but he ends up becoming reanimated then and
Yeah.
bites Rain again before she shoots him dead.
Like
Um,
actually bites her this time, right? Like I first think the first zombie got her armor. I don't think it bit her unless it did.
I think she got bit. She already got the webbing at her thumb there, like
Oh
numbed,
yeah.
because she's
Yeah.
like that bitch bit me and blah blah, and you could tell it
Yeah.
was starting to wear on her. But
But this one really got her.
yeah, that one's really what slows her down. I'm pretty sure that it was Lisa a little later here with Matt because he has like a moment of oh my god, it's my sister type of
Yeah, and then she
phase.
almost gets him. Yeah.
Yeah, and then Alice shows up and's like, nope, kills her, assumingly at that point, and
Yeah.
that's where you get more of the flashback of them making a deal.
Yep. Because then
Um,
Kaplan gets it too. Like
yes,
Kaplan gets gangs here.
yep, he's bitten, separated from the group. Alice remembers an antivirus is in the lab, but they find out that it's missing.
Yep.
We're gonna jump ahead here a bit because we're past a lot of the action scenes in the movie, and it's a lot of more story at this point. You still have
Right.
suspense, and we're coming up to the liquor and everything, which is really cool. But Spence's memory returns. It shows you that he was the thief at the beginning of the movie, and he's the one that purposely poisoned the entire hive, basically.
And I don't
Um,
I don't know if it makes it explicit or not, but like in the memory, like he is overhearing Lisa and Alice talking. So I don't know if he did that to help protect Alice or if he was helping her. I don't remember.
it very well could have been that. I'm pretty sure that Spence is. You're going to see him drug off here at the end of the movie.
Yeah.
That's just how it is. Spoilers. It's an old movie. This is the next movie. I think it's Apocalypse. Is when they very much start shoehorning in a lot more Resident Evil mainstays. The second movie is literally like the third game. They turn
Mm.
Spence into the nemesis, and not just a joke of the word. There, he is literally the nemesis bioweapon in that at that point in the movie. Like
Oh, nice.
to the point where he's hunting down Stars members. And hey, we're going to talk about Stars members in the next movie because Capcom's like, we liked it, but we want more of our game property pushed in this. So
Yeah.
here's Nemesis. Um, so Spence retrieves the antivirus, but ends up getting killed by a liquor, supposedly. Oh no, yeah, he was killed. I think it's Matt that gets taken off, doesn't he?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
pretty
I got my
sure.
names backwards there. Whoops. But yeah, Spence ends up getting killed by the liquor.
And
Group
Rain
the
is
group.
infected, right?
Yeah,
And
that's
so
the other thing.
the Red Queen is like trying to make a deal with Alice and Matt. They're like, "Hey, if you kill her, I'll let you go."
Yeah. And you don't get to see the liquor kill Spence per se, but it is kind of gruesome. Like just that
Yeah,
little shot in the security camera, and then yeah, oh, it's eating him, whatever. He's cut in half, whatever.
yeah,
The CG's done well enough.
yeah.
That's the big bad.
And I
Rain,
guess we should have said we assumed Kaplan was dead. But
yeah.
now we get that moment where the door's open and he's still alive.
Yeah, we need to have him, he's the one that we were supposed to really care about in this movie.
Yeah.
He kills a reanimated Spence then, even though he was just literally ripped apart type deal. On the train, they inject Rain and Kaplan with the antivirus. The liquor attacks them. It claws Matt, it kills Kaplan. Alice subdues the liquor before a zombified Rain attacks Matt, which again is humorous because the later movies, Rain supposedly comes back, or it's just the same actress. It's Michelle Rodriguez just doing her role in a different way, but it's the same
Hey, it's just like
actress.
Fast and Furious, brother. We thought she was dead and she
Yeah.
comes running on back because you can't keep Michelle Rodriguez down.
You can't keep family down.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
don't
not even Paul Walker, because apparently he's coming back in the next film. Did you see this?
know. Are you shitting me?
Vin Diesel said Paul Walker Brian is going to be in the next movie.
Oh my goodness.
What does
That
that even whatever.
they're gonna
Fuck.
CG him like they did the one captain from Star Wars.
Or like they did Paul Walker in the was it Fast 6? Like when he had died and they used his brother and CGI'd his face over top to that it's been
To
a long
Yeah, which was
day.
more that's how it should have been sent off. That was
Yeah.
tasteful. It
Then
is what it
end
is.
it.
But
Why are
now
you
you're gonna
bringing it
bring him
back?
back and CG him.
I don't get it. I don't get it.
Well,
Have a little respect for the dead.
don't.
Except we're talking about zombies.
Yeah, and we're also talking about Hollywood, and uh, Carrie Fisher was brought back from the dead basically in a CG scene anyhow. So
Hey, don't you hate on Rogue One?
I don't hate Rogue One. I was actually, despite just being fan service the entire movie, it did a good job at telling a story that I enjoyed because it was
That
one
is
off and
the
I didn't have to
best
care.
Star Wars film ever released.
I agree. I was excited. It was good. I didn't have to get attached to these characters, but they found a way to make you care.
Yep.
Anyhow, end of the movie. We're at the mansion. You think Alice and Matt get away. Matt begins to mutate. So before Alice can give him the antivirus, a group of scientists come in, seize them, et cetera, et cetera. They reveal Matt's been put into the Nemesis program, which, again, they literally made the Nemesis program appear at the end of this movie for the next movie. So it is
Yep.
what it is. The hive's been reopened for investigation to the incident, and sometime later, Alice wakes up at a Raccoon City hospital strapped to an examination table. Uh, she escapes outside only to find that the city's in ruins. Grabs
She
a shotgun
locks
from
and
a police
loads.
car, and
Yep.
there you go. There's your sequel bait.
Yep. She is locked and loaded and ready for war.
And then oh fuck, what is it? The end song is, I think, My Plague by Slipknot, then, which is just so fucking fitting, but also, like, not at all what that song's about.
Yeah. This one, most underrated movie of the year at the Golden Schmoes.
At the Golden Schmoes.
Sorry, it didn't win. Did not win. It was nominated.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah. Yeah, no, this didn't win any awards. But I think it did okay at the box office. Yeah, I mean it had a budget of 33 million, it made 103. So that's
I
pretty
mean,
good.
that's.
It's very short, right? Like it's only 100 minutes. So yeah, this is one of the better zombie movies, I think, just in term of pure action, right? Like it feels a lot like 28 Weeks Later, where it's just like straight action, not much plot, shoehorning in some love interests and some plots and stuff, but it's mostly about the kills and things like that.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing that made this so hard for me to really talk about in a bubble. It's not a bad movie by any stretch of the mind. It was competently done. It tried its best to do, what it did, and I enjoyed it for what it was. It was a fun romp, but plot wise, it was so scatterbrained and so difficult to truly follow that you just kind of watch the movie and you go along for the ride. It's just one of those movies. And that's not
Yeah.
a bad thing.
Right.
But
And it was, I mean, it was W.S. Anderson's like first big time movie, right?
yeah, I mean,
So, and then he went on a run, man. It was this, Alien versus Predator, Resident Evil 2, Resident Evil 3, and then Death Race. And I think Death Race rips. That's one of my favorite action movies. It's one of my favorite Jason Statham movies by far.
I,
So,
we say that, but he also directed Event Horizon.
oh, did he really?
Yes, and that movie has one of the craziest fucking like if they wouldn't have cut what they did for the theater, oh like the hallucination scene or whatever where he's seeing like the deaths of all of his crewmates and shit.
Yeah.
Like that was brutal shit. Like
I should say Resident Evil's the first big movie he wrote and directed because he
that's fair.
just directed Event Horizon.
Yes. And obviously he couldn't do all the producing on, Alien versus Predator, but because that movie in itself is that's a
Yeah.
lot also.
Yeah. That one's
What
fun. The second one kind of blows, but the first one's a lot of fun.
yeah. He did the Three Musketeers in 2011. He didn't
Yeah.
write it, but he directed and produced it.
I
I
did
don't
love that movie.
oh, good on him.
Yeah.
He definitely has a career for sure. It's just
I like him as a choreographer, right? Like
yeah,
I like take give him a good script and someone else direct it and give him in charge of everything else. It could be really good.
he did the commercial for Doom 3, the video game,
Oh,
which is
nice.
very weird to think about because you have the most terrible Doom related movie that I think I've ever seen then with Dwayne the Rock Johnson. Go figure.
Yeah.
Apparently, we're also getting a Mortal Kombat 2 movie, which I guess it's supposed to be a sequel to like the original Mortal Kombat movies.
Oh, I thought it was a sequel to the one that was just released. Is it not?
Was there a live action one? Oh my god, I
Dude, it
forgot
was a.
about that.
Did you watch it? It was
I did, and I
awesome.
forgot it existed.
It's amazing. Yeah, Mortal Kombat 2 comes out this fall. I'm pumped for it.
Holy shit, that it tells you how much it stuck to me.
Yeah. I mean, I think it was an HBO Max original or like
That
just
might be
very
why I
quickly.
don't remember, but I watched it in the freaking hotel one night and I forgot all
Yeah.
about it.
Yeah, no, that movie rips. That movie,
Okay.
honestly, like the original ones were fun. They were more just like Power Rangers set in Mortal Kombat, right? The newest Mortal Kombat, man, is really fun.
That's you said the animated ones, the one that's like starring Scorpion and the one that stars Johnny Cage. Watch those. Those are a lot of fun too. Those are
Okay.
really good. Apparently The Legend of Zelda is supposed to be getting a movie released by Sony.
I thought it was a TV show. Maybe
Is
it's a
it?
movie now. I don't know. I think they're competing on what they want to do.
It's being or distributed by Sony and it's Nintendo's going to be behind it. I honestly would have taken another Illumination film. Super Mario Brothers movie's fucking smacked. I won't lie. Apparently, Death Stranding. It's the Hideo Kojima game. Sony's going to be trying to push a movie out for that in 2027 at some point. I think that's even going to star Norman Reedus. He's going to
Yeah.
reprise his
Yep.
role as Sam. I would be very interested to see how they get a movie out of that acid trip of the game. I love it to
Yeah.
death, but man,
And A24 is coming out with an Elden Ring movie. Directed by
I
directed by Alex Garland, dude.
I it needs to be good. It really needs to be good because there's so much that they can do right, and there's a lot that they can do wrong by
I
making
it,
that movie.
I feel like it's hard to make a movie for an open world game.
they could treat it like it's Game of Thrones the movie. That's the thing. Like that the
Sure.
game itself has some of the craziest looking creatures that are inspired by many medias, but Berserk being the biggest one,
Yeah.
a manga from Japan. And the director of Elden Ring is known for taking a lot of inspiration as far as what the world needs to look like for all of his creatures. His, it's a dark and gritty world. It's meant to be very adult, and it's just very exciting to have just put that to film and do it right. That would be really cool. Uh, Something that really surprises me though, I'm looking at this wiki list right now. There's an untitled Minecraft movie sequel. God help us. There's an untitled Metal Gear film.
Oh,
That could be done very well.
yeah.
Jack and Daxter.
Okay.
Paul W.S. Anderson is actually supposedly doing a House of the Dead movie.
Yes, I know that's definitely announced. I saw that.
That would be really freaking cool, actually, if done right. We're getting an Outlast movie. We're getting there's so many video game related movies that might be popping up in the future here.
Well, and we've had some very, very good ones, dude. I mean, Sonic. The Sonic
Yeah.
games ripped, you know? Um, I had a lot of fun with the movie. Like the Jumanji movie was fun, right? Gran Turismo was pretty cool. The lead actor was a block of wood. I kind of hated him. Um, but like there's we're getting a Street Fighter.
Yeah, that'd be
That they've
cool.
announced almost a whole dude. Cody Rhodes, Roman Reigns, and
Hmm.
Jason Momoa are all in it. So
That's they're all fans of Street Fighter too, so I feel like they can do it
yeah.
justice. Did you
Um,
see Cody Rhodes and Rhea Ripley were added to Call of Duty as
no,
characters? Cody
no.
Rhodes cuts the crossroads as his finisher if somebody's downed.
Call of Duty is just Fortnite anymore,
They
dude.
added Beavis and Butthead as well as Jay and Silent Bob.
It's just yeah. I gave
I
up on Call of Duty, dude.
I haven't played it at all, but I see these characters pop up every now and again, and I'm like, why the fuck is Cody Rhodes giving the crossroads to Nicki Minaj right now?
I'm replaying the original Modern Warfare, and what could have been, dude. Why are these games that came out when I was like 12 so much better than the shit they're putting out today?
As far as gameplay or story?
Story, story.
Okay. I agree. The reboot of 1 through 3 that they did, I didn't mind the retelling of the
Sure.
reimagined Modern Warfare's,
Yeah.
but the Black Ops games story modes have not been my favorite at all. Cold
No.
War, Black Ops 6, what have you. I have
I
not
mean,
very enjoyed them.
so, and they knew they weren't going to be good because what was it, Black Ops 3 or 4? They didn't even include a story. It
Black
was
Ops
just,
4 didn't. It was made for Blackout.
yeah.
They pushed it out for the Battle Royale, even though they had Warzone on the back burner as the moneymaker. And they're like, put all your time into this and we're going to sell microtransactions and then people can do blah, blah, blah.
And you know what? We're the problem. I mean, not us specifically, but people are the problem because they keep buying those games and keep
Yes.
playing them and pouring money in. I mean, of course, if it's making money, they're going to do it. Why would they spend all the money on a campaign? Like, what was it, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 4 or was it 3 that the campaign takes like an hour and a half?
Was it Black Ops 3?
No,
Because
it
Black.
was the newest, like
Oh,
one of the
oh,
newest
oh.
remakes. I think
Yeah.
it's 4. Pretty sure it's Modern Warfare
It was
4.
super quick. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's.
Whereas
We're going
I've
to
been
trip.
playing the Modern Warfare campaign for like 2 weeks. No, I only play it for a couple hours a day, but like it's long, man. I just got to shoot Imran Zakayev with my big sniper
Hmm.
rifle. Like, yeah, that game's sick.
Are you playing it on hard or normal?
Veteran.
Veteran. Oh, man. No wonder
Yeah.
it's taking you time. Nice.
Yeah. Yeah. There's been one or two levels that have been kicking my ass on veteran. And I'm like, I'm gonna lower the difficulty. I'm like, no, don't do that.
No,
You're you're a pussy.
have fun on the Mile High Club at the end because that is known as the veteran make or break. That last level when you're on the plane and they have the fucking airplane joke at the beginning.
Oh.
Where,
Isn't that the second game? That's the second game.
the first one because it's right after everything happens and it's you're on a plane saving a hostage and shit and it's I think it's Gaz. I know Gaz dies, but it still pops up as Gaz, so it's like it's almost like a throwback as to what the team did. And it's
Okay.
like, surely you can't be serious in prices. I am, and don't call me Shirley.
Yeah.
They had to
I
do an
love those
airplane joke.
games. Captain Price is the guy.
He is. When are you gonna shave it up and go for the price mutton chops?
Never.
Oh, come on now.
I'm thinking about shaving the whole thing actually because it's starting to bother me.
Oh,
But all right, well, that's Resident Evil. So something I've started doing that I didn't do before is give a rating for this. I mean, we know it's fun and we know it's whatever, but out of 10, what would you give Resident Evil?
6. It's very mid, but it's still not the worst thing I've ever seen, and that's not a very high scale for as compared to other movies. As a video game movie, I feel like a 6 is very decent.
I don't think with a video game movie you can get past an 8. I don't think it's possible to go any farther.
I I'm still on the fence with the Super Mario Brothers movie. I adore that. I love it. I think that would be the one that I'm not going to say it's perfect, but I think that is at least a 9 for me because it
Yeah,
did everything right
it
that it needed to.
I consider it the best video game movie. I consider it 8 though. It's just such a cookie cutter story. Like to get to a 9 or a 10, I need a little nuance. I need a little whatever, but it is great. Yeah, I had Resident Evil at a 6 also. I'm assuming, is it fair to assume this one is the best of the franchise or no?
The next one's pretty good.
Okay.
Apocalypse is the one that I've seen more than any of the others because it would show up a lot on like Sci-Fi Channel and shit like that.
Okay.
Um, Once I rewatch it, I can give a better description, but I could say it's a close tie for this one and Apocalypse being the
Oh,
next movie
so
in the line.
Paul Anderson didn't direct the Apocalypse. He just wrote it.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, Alexander Witt directed it.
Oh, that's right. That's the one that might be why it's good in my eyes.
Yeah,
That isn't a shot at him. I mean, it's just the reality of it.
he's worked on a ton of shit as a director of photography, dude. Most of the James Bonds, the Pirates of the Caribbeans, the Fast and Furious movies, the X-Men movies.
Hmm.
He's done a shit ton of stuff. So yeah, I'm it's not streaming anywhere. I bought a Stars subscription to watch the first Resident Evil, and they don't have the second one. They have the first and then the last. So I'm gonna run down to our friends at Second and Charles and buy me a copy so we can review it. But
Sweet, sweet.
any last comments on Resident Evil there, pal?
No, I'm glad that you wanted to do another podcast here with me for you know not so much the movie, more the series that I enjoy, and being able to give a couple of nods back and forth with it. And I look forward to the next one for sure. Will we get to the entire series? Probably, but it's gonna. I'm gonna tell you,
Eventually.
much like after Resident Evil 5, Resident Evil 6 was the black sheep. After Apocalypse, the next three movies are all black sheep.
Isn't there a pretty new one too called like Raccoon City or something?
Has absolutely nothing to do with any of this because they absolutely try to shoehorn actual characters and none of the characters look how they look in the games. And I'm okay with that if it's done right because the actors that they have are not bad. They are
Yeah.
they're well established actors. It looks like such a shit movie. Like give me Alice at that point. I want the stupid shit. It looks like
Yeah.
they're trying to be too serious once I seen the trailer and I'm like, oh no.
Jeez. But we will get there. But for now, that has been the first Resident Evil plus a lot of video game talk. So, Jordan, thanks for coming on, and hey, we'll see you guys next time.
Yeah.